Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Bad Reading Podcast. I am your co-host, Nick Kane, and joining me is...
I am Atlas Novak, and I am a fan of Van Halen, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
We'll be waiting for your comments later after the episode airs. And joining us is our guest today, Jimmy Nebula, and check out his stand-up.
My wife was kidnapped by ISIS. Okay? They called me on the phone. They're like, listen, 20 grand, you can have her back. I said, you listen, Habibi, 50 grand, keep her.
And we're back. Jimmy, that was great set that you did just now. Like, I can't believe you rushed all the way from where you were at to here just now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that totally happened live a second ago.
Yeah.
And not by the magic of editing. I wish I had a handful of confetti. That would have been perfect.
Well, we can with editing.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Thanks for being on, Jimmy.
No, I appreciate you guys having me, man. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So we moved into a new room, and it's so much bigger than the one we were in. Like compared to the other room, like we were in like a broom closet, and but now it's like now we're in like a rich kid's broom closet. So
I can no longer Dutch oven everybody else, and like I'm gonna need at least 2 Chipotle burritos if that's gonna happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so Jimmy, you picked your subject today was Jimmy Neutron because it's...
Oh, that's bullshit. you asked him what he was into. He said space. You told me his name. I went, please tell me he's going to pick Jimmy Neutron, and you ran with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, okay. So disclosure, I did pick it. But
God.
So we picked Jimmy Neutron because your name is close to Jimmy Neutron. Your name is Jimmy Nebula on social media. But I picked something that was really, really funny, and you might not get it. You might not. Who I don't know. I
get it. You know, Jimmy Neutron is like one of my mortal enemies. I always said when I started my career in comedy, like if you can type in Google Jimmy and NE and I get above Neutron, I made it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as we get further and further into the future, that's just going to be more and more likely.
Yeah.
Because I highly doubt there's going to be someone of our age who's like, you know what, I want a Jimmy Neutron reboot. And then they like figure that shit out. Like, how do you reboot shitty CGI with more shitty CGI?
That's
wait. Every reboot ever.
Yeah. So this is the story. We found this on fanfiction.net, and it's called Neutron Sexual Experimentations by Nickelodeon.
Well, okay, so normally the titles for these are usually pretty innocuous. Neutron Sexual Experimentation.
Yes.
Okay, like we're off to a great start.
Yes.
By the way, to those who haven't seen the show before, how this works is Nick and I are going to take turns reading this. Jimmy Nebula is encouraged to interrupt as often as you would like with jokes, stories, nitpicks, etc. We will be putting the link to the story in the show notes for you to check out for yourself and also to give the artist credit.
Yes.
Continue.
So this was written by Nickelodeon. I already love that name.
How do you spell Nickelodeon?
How do you think you spell Nickelodeon, my friend?
Loadian? Am I close?
Nickelodeon. D-I-C-K.
Oh, it's like the
Nickelodeon,
show.
like the show.
The network. Why didn't I think of that? I'm so dumb. You know what's even worse? I have my phone right here in front of me with the story on it. I could have just looked for myself.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So this was written in. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say you got a lot of balls to have a name like Dick and be like proud of it.
Nickelodeon. Well,
I mean, it's a username. You could just be like Burn Butt 69 or whatever. Which, by the way, that's what the bumper stickers would say if Bernie and Pete Buttigieg ran as one ticket. Burn Butts 2020. Get out there and vote, kids. Okay.
Okay, so this was written all the way back in December 21st of 2011, but it was updated May 29th, 2019. So this is an ongoing story. There are multiple chapters of this story, so if you guys want to check out more later, it's there. So we'll post a link in the episodes.
It's there for you.
Yes, it is. And I love the titles of these chapters.
Oh God,
they're so stupid. Chapter 1: Beatings for Breakfast. Neutron Sexual Experimentations. Disclaimer: I obviously don't own Jimmy Neutron or any of the characters or settings. If I did, I would write shit like this. This is also clearly a sick parody. Expect lots of violence and graphic content over the following chapters.
Oh no.
James Isaac Neutron, get down here and eat your fucking breakfast before the bus comes, cried Jimmy Neutron. But Mom, whined Jimmy, I could easily use my jetpack to fly myself to school so much faster than the bus could. Hugh, it sounds like your son is disrespecting his mother, an agitated Judy exclaimed to her husband. Hugh looked up from his duck hunting magazine and growled up the stairs. Son, you have till the count of 4 to come down here and eat this toast.
Well, wait, so I thought... Okay, so the dad on Jimmy Neutron has like a weird obsession with ducks for whatever reason. Why would he be reading a duck hunting magazine?
I think maybe it's like he carves ducks out of wood because it's like that ancient Japanese tradition where like every person they've killed, like they make wooden carvings out of them.
I've literally never heard of that.
Well,
I've heard of like bonsai trees, but not...
What do you think it is, Jimmy?
I have no fucking clue, man. I'm like lost right now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Okay. The first line being, eat your fucking breakfast right now.
That right there just, yeah.
Does that remind anyone of their childhood, like your dad just screaming, eat your fucking breakfast? Yeah, that reminds me of mine.
Eat it now or you starve.
Was your family like you can pack it up, I can pack it for your lunch, but the next thing you eat is going to be that thing?
You have to.
You have to.
You have to. Yeah.
Was it like that for you, Nick? Or
no, it was just eat it or it's gonna be leftovers, and whatever was left over, I would be forced to eat it. Sometimes I had to eat cube steak. Sometimes I don't know.
Cube steak?
Yeah,
that doesn't sound that bad.
Cube steak? Oh no, this is I didn't like it.
Is it steak cut in cubes?
Yeah.
I mean that doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah.
You know.
Jimmy couldn't respond. He would love to go downstairs and enjoy the crunchy treats of their new toaster, but he was too busy looking out the window and jerking off. A telescope he had designed earlier that week had allowed him to peek on Cindy Vortex whenever he so pleased, and this was the only time today she would be stepping out of the shower. Jimmy's boxers were already on the floor, giving easy access to his 2-inch penis.
They're like what, 10, 11?
Yeah, they're like 10 or something.
That is a very mature age to be jerking off.
Seriously. I mean, I didn't start jerking off till never really,
I mean, well, from 9 to 12, it was just having a hard dick for no reason. And then you finally figure it out. For me, it was at 12. And it was like a scientist eureka moment, but with jizz.
Right. Scared the living shit out of me, too. Scared the living shit out of me.
What the fuck is...
detergent.
What was that?
The fuck is this? My bone juice? What is that?
It terrified me.
Yeah, you were like, did I, like, what happened? Like, it's, oh God, did I get the sheets pregnant?
I was rubbing against a pillow, and it just kept feeling better.
Corduroy couch.
It was actually a pillow, like a regular pillow, and it just started feeling better. And then I'm and then and it was scary.
And then you're like, I'm so tired, and I don't know why.
Did you have like sex ed by that point, or?
No, I was 13, man, and I flicked it, and it hit. I had an REM poster in my room. An REM. It hit Michael Stipe on the face, and you know that stain it puts, yeah, and I can never get rid of it. And people would kind of, if you walked in my room, if you knew, be like, you just jerk off on your.
How's that for Orange Crush, Michael Stipe?
That's right. That's right.
Nice. Geez, where'd I leave off? As Cindy dried her petite body, the boy she affectionately called Neutron rubbed his genitals vigorously. The toast would have to wait until he had reached orgasm. Fuck! Hugh Neutron burst through the door and gasped at the sight. His son, nude from the waist down, leaned on the dresser masturbating in front of a telescope positioned through the window. He angrily clenched his fist and ran over to the boy. He slammed his fist into his son's skull, knocking his eyes onto the telescope as he collapsed. How dare you masturbate while your mother works her heart out making sweet breakfast for you, his father screamed.
Okay, so first off, always knock.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't do the knock and immediate enter. That's what my dad did when I was a kid. He caught me.
Yeah, that's not enough warning, like for a parent. Like, you're like, hey, you have 3 seconds to get your shit together.
It's not even 3 seconds. It's the knock. So I didn't even have like a response ready because he opened it. I had taken 0 improv classes at this point, and I kind of just went, "Hey, I was just thinking about you." Yeah,
exactly.
So
Arab parents don't even knock; they just kind of walk in.
They
And
just kind of.
That's why when you do it, you gotta like hold the sheet up so they don't know what's going on, and you kind of drop, and then
I'm imagining like Kramer on Seinfeld just kind of bursting in. Hey Jerry,
And they slide in.
what are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
I was just.
So that aside, he's like an abusive father, and also he's like, he's saying like about masturbation the way you would about like not doing your homework. How dare you masturbate when your mother's downstairs?
It's like
Right.
it's like a Mormon family.
He's like, you don't jerk off when your mother's downstairs. You do it later, after. What the fuck? This is a weird story, bro.
Yeah, it's very weird, but that's why I picked it.
Jimmy Mormon, latter-day genius.
Oh.
Delivering more punches to young Jimmy, he knocked over various electrical appliances and toys. Amazingly, Jimmy maintained an erection and tried desperately to crawl over to his telescope before Cindy was dressed. You're peeping on that Carl faggot next door again, aren't you? Hugh
Wow.
yelled.
So child abuse, barging into his son's room, and slurs.
Yes, yeah.
Master stroke, pun definitely intended.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we already put the disclaimer, like, this is a parody. Hugh yelled, unaware of the telescope being pointed in the opposite direction of Carl's house. Without hesitation, he grabbed Jimmy's face and smashed it into the wall, knocking the telescope out of place and falling on his body. Every time Jimmy closed his eyes, he pictured Cindy's wet, nude body, and before he could attempt to free himself from the horrific abuse he came on himself. Knowing there was no way he could finish spying on Cindy this morning, this only angered Hugh more. Furious, he flipped the lad over, stood up, grabbed the telescope, and began to swing it onto his bottom with brutal force, over and over again. Jimmy started crying, not just from the pain, but from knowing he would have to construct a new telescope for his Cindy spying.
Yeah.
What
Is everybody uncomfortable?
the fuck have you wrought upon us?
It's like seriously, like, where did you find this?
I found it
Fanfiction.net.
on the internet.
Oh, so fanfiction.net.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
where we get most of our stories, but that's not always the case. We've gotten some from like Tumblr, things like that. Jesus Christ. So he manages to, not only does he manage to maintain an erection, but finish while he's getting beaten up.
Yes.
He busted. That he's gonna grow up to be something very weird.
Yeah.
Like that's how serial killers and sexual fantasies arise. When,
God.
Yeah, getting beat up and coming. Oh God. Oh, multiple.
Well, he will be a genius. He'll be a genius at something.
Yeah. Right. I mean.
Yeah, no, it's just, I like the idea of him. So not only will he grow up to be some kind of depraved, possibly serial killer in this story, but he's like a boy genius with like sci-fi gadgets and shit. So imagine like a serial killer with sci-fi shit.
That's a scary thought.
That is a scary thought.
Like usually serial killers aren't that bright.
I imagine that to be
Right.
like Jeff Bezos or
Kinda
something.
your Ted Bundys and stuff like that.
He was a little
Yeah.
sharp, but he's too sharp.
He was too smart for his own good by half, where he was like, I'm gonna represent myself in court, and people were like, bitch, what are you doing? I'm not a teenage girl, you know?
Did you notice the questions he was asking people when he's on the stand? He's all, so what was your reaction when he came? He's like,
Yeah.
he's getting into it.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know why you would ever want to know that. Like, it's like a YouTuber taking that way too far. That whole react thing. Like, so what did you think? Oh, how was your like reaction to that? Like, I don't know. That's what serial killers ask, isn't it? I don't know.
Kind of, yeah.
I guess. All right. No, I guess
Yeah.
not. Okay. This is why little boys shouldn't peep, Hughes screamed, spanking his child as the telescope started falling apart. I just imagine just the amount of strength you have to have just to beat someone with a telescope. Blood splattered from the torn butt tissue, telling Hugh that he should stop before Jimmy has evidence to show to child services.
How did the butt tissue get involved? What happened? He
I think
stuck something
He's
up his
hitting him
ass?
so hard that
it's like
But
bleeding.
the butt tissue, like butt,
I don't think it's actual flesh. I think he just means he hit him so hard he bled.
got it.
yeah.
But also, Torn Butt Tissue is a fucking awesome metal band name.
Right? Torn, coming up to the stage.
It's Torn Butt Tissue. I have a whole just like list of potential band names in my phone just that I keep. Like my favorite one right now is Robin Hoot.
The revolting cocks.
The revolting JT in the halftime show.
He's this is Hans and I'm Arnold and we are the cocks.
I got producer Alex to laugh. I win. All right.
That's right.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
I don't have a mic right now, but
No, it's okay.
No, we can hear him.
We can actually hear you pretty good.
oh, you can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a great voice though.
Thanks, man.
Seriously, like for radio, I mean, it's got that very. See, my talk is ugly, you know, but like he's got like something. there.
Talk is ugly.
Well, I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, I want to be a
So-
singer. He's
so-
like, you sing? Your talk is ugly. How are you gonna sing for us?
So your voice is the equivalent. Your voice has a face for radio.
He's got a voice for print.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a real
Voice.
saying.
I'm telling you,
Really?
I got it from all
Oh, wow.
ends. All ends.
Yeah.
This face and the fucked up voice.
Yeah.
It's like what went right, you know?
I don't know. The voice went right, I guess. I
Did
don't
you? Okay, I was gonna say, did you reach a good stopping point, or
know. Yeah, you can take over here if you want.
where is it?
Right at the top.
Okay.
So let's recap. Where are we? We so far he was called to dinner. He went upstairs. He didn't want to come down. He jerked off. He got his ass kicked. He busted a nut, and then he had torn ass tissue. Now we're here, right?
All right, you little fucker, get up. I know you're conscious. Get dressed and eat breakfast already, Jimbo, unless you want a round 2 after school. With that, Hugh left the room. Jimmy wiped himself clean of blood and sperm.
Oh my god.
Gosh, I feel like wrong listening to this. Like I feel like
This is
And
called
so do
bad,
you.
This is bad reading.
Clothed himself and sat on his bed for a few minutes to recover himself. If it weren't for his parents' neglect and abuse, he would never have nurtured his genius mind. He only wishes a prodigy like himself didn't, D-I-N-D apostrophe T,
Ugh.
have to suffer so many brutal beatings.
what did that stand for, by the way? Seriously.
I assume he meant didn't, and it's a typo, but
Okay.
We run into those all the time.
There wasn't like an undercover message. Or
no,
something.
it's
No,
just
no,
like
no.
shitty grammatical errors.
D-I-N-D-T.
Yeah.
It's like it's the first clue. No, like these.
No, they switch the N and the
He
D.
just fucked up.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
After doing a few long division problems in his head to ensure Hugh hadn't damaged any part of his colossal brain.
You ever do that when someone beats you mercilessly? Like, okay, let's see, my brain's still working. The 22 divided by 7. I don't know. That's not complicated at all. That's complicated for me.
That's kind of cool. It's like 3 point. Whatever.
I don't know. I mean,
3 point.
like, I have epilepsy, so whenever I have a seizure, what people will do, like, to make sure I'm lucid, because you're always in a twilight state, is they'll ask you questions that most people would know, to like make sure that you know what's going on. Like the first time I ever had a seizure, I was in an ambulance, and the guy apparently asked me who the president was, and I said Rutherford B. Hayes, which
What? Are you being fun? Are you being serious? You have epilepsy?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, it's called.
Yeah.
I have a mild form called nocturnal seizure disorder, so it only occurs during sleep.
We can't take your tongue out though. That's the thing. I heard that rules.
That's not.
That's bad.
That's not a thing. You're not going to swallow your tongue.
Okay.
The only thing you really have to make sure of is make sure they don't like crack their head open on something, and
Just let it ride.
just let it ride, and then start asking them questions. What day of the week is it? You know, what's the day? What month is it? That kind of thing. Who's the president? And then
I'm Batman.
and
I'm Batman.
okay, visual listeners, you're getting something out. You're getting like cross-eyed Jimmy. Doesn't that sound like a mafia guy? Cross-eyed Jimmy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
He's
that's
all like
definitely
this.
a
Cross-eyed
mob
Jimmy
guy.
down by the docks.
Cross-eyed Jimmy.
But anyway, so
you know, cross-eyed Jimmy.
but
You see
it's just
stupid
like
people.
a thing you do with like a epileptic or just concussed person to make sure they're lucid. Long division problems though.
I don't know.
Yeah, because that'll fuck me up sober.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's got it.
Remember long division, that's bullshit. Okay. He leapt downstairs and joined his family at the table. Before Goddard could greet him, Hugh held his arm in front of him, expecting an apology. Son, tell your mother why you nearly missed breakfast. Jimmy gulped. I was spying on Cindy. Cindy? Oh, thank God. I thought you were being gay again.
Ooh, this is a
I
product
assume
of
this
its
is-
time. I thought you were being gay again. It's a good thing.
Well, I take back a few of those punches then. Ha ha. Okay, I think that was Hugh talking, but Judy was just glad her son was honest and ready to eat her toast. He took a bite but frowned. Mom,
toast.
it isn't very well done. Think you could put it in for another toast, he muttered. Judy stared coldly before grabbing a cup of orange juice and dumping it into his swirly-looking hair.
Wow.
God damn.
Jesus. No, yeah. So for context, yeah, like he has swooshy hair, like an ice cream, like chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
It's like just putting that in there. I'm just like, you're just gonna, man. That sucks. I'm sorry for Jimmy. I don't know.
I'm terrified to see where this goes when the dog's in the Goddard.
Yeah, I don't know. No,
Yeah.
dude, Goddard might be he might be like a sex robot. I think maybe for Jimmy. You know, I don't know. Maybe he's
his
into
dog.
bestiality.
It poured down his mutant head and soaked his outfit. The bus is almost here. Or I don't even know who this is. The bus is almost here. Grab the sack of lunch on the counter and get outside. Jimmy knew breakfast was canceled as well. The whole morning had gone to shit, and only because Cindy had to spend a few extra minutes in the shower. Oh, how he hated her. One of these days, he would remove her brain in her sleep and rewire it to better suit his needs.
Oh God.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Or maybe just invent some kind of mind control device. Might be easier. Taking the lunch bag and walking out the front door, he noticed Goddard sneaking up onto the table and grabbing the leftover toast. Not wanting to see what sort of punishment was in store for his mechanical dog, Jimmy waltzed outside and waited for the bus. Already out on the sidewalk stood Carl Weezer, having his hair combed by his father. Now remember, son, if you poop in your underwear again, check to make sure you absolutely can't clean it all out before calling me and your mom, okay? Yes, Daddy, smiled Carl.
Has that ever happened to you at school?
What, you shit your pants?
I had a friend who
Shit
called
your
his
pants,
dad.
But yeah,
Oh yeah, that happened to me once. I was
walking home. Yeah.
What happened?
No, there was this bush.
Yeah?
But it's not like a regular little bush. It's like a big bush, and like I was walking home. And,
yeah.
no, just
Wait,
brought
you
back memories.
you shat your pants in the bush?
No, I took a shit in the bushes and I
okay.
used the to wipe.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and I
Oh.
disposed of it. But
the-
it just reminded me of that.
The only time I've actually shat my pants outside of the age of 5 is when I was 13. My family went on a trip. I had airplane food. We landed, and as we're driving home, I'm like, all right, I need a bathroom yesterday, fucking gas station. And they pull in, and there's it's like a Del Taco in the gas station parking lot. So I go up, I'm trying to get in. They've locked up for the night, and I'm like, let me in, pounding. And the worker who's sweeping the floor is like, no, I can't let you in. And I just made intense eye contact with her as I catastrophically shat my pants. Just you did this to me. I mean, luckily I had a suitcase full of clothes, so just throw the pants out and that's it.
And then her face, when she caught a whiff of it, she was talking to you and we're sorry, what did you just shoot?
No, it was a locked door, so she's just no, I obviously looked like a crazy person.
Oh yeah,
it's just some dude coming up trying to get in and pounding on the door, being like,
Good as shit.
I was trying to mouth it through. I don't know. She couldn't hear me.
That's
what about you? You ever shot your pants, Nick?
Yeah, I had some bad pizza one time. I was going on a swim meet. I was traveling from Tucson to Phoenix on a swim meet, and whatever was in that pizza fucked my stomach up, and I shat my pants on the bus. And
in public.
Yeah, it was in public, and I had to be so discreet and just run off the bus and change my pants, and it was. I didn't go back to swim practice for a few days after that.
Isn't that a thing? If you've had diarrhea in the last week, don't get in the pool or something.
Yeah, no, but
true?
they had a shower.
Usually around public pools, it's if you've had diarrhea in the last X amount of time, don't fucking get in the pool. Which fine.
I think because it has the same chlorine Visine has.
Yeah,
something like that, and it causes. I don't know if that's true.
Hell if I know.
It just sounded right. So.
Yeah.
But
all right. Jimmy envied the ignorant slob. Sure, he was a furry and probably suffered from a mental deficiency or two. Nick, I'm going to kill you. He at least didn't have to deal with violence on a daily basis. That and his balls probably hadn't dropped yet either.
That's good. That's good.
Nice.
That's a line we always tell me. When your balls drop, come talk to me. Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy's life has especially sucked since he felt the tingles in his nuts all the time. Oh, hey, Jimmy, Carl chirped, happy to see his friend. Why do you smell like oranges? You didn't get mutated again, did you? Which, that's actually a, reference to an episode where it's like an X-Men parody. So they go through this Fantastic Four. They go through like this cosmic storm, and they all get superpowers based on what they were doing at the time. So at the time, Jimmy and Cindy are arm wrestling, and Cindy gets super strength, and Jimmy just kind of becomes orange. Like he smells like oranges. His skin is orange, and then it turns out he got Hulk powers.
Bless you.
But it doesn't show up till like later in the episode. So like the whole orange thing with Carl is like a nice callback. Whatever. Fine, I'm a dork. Okay. Don't worry, Carl. I'm fine, he said, calming the sweaty beefcake down. Tell me, what's it like feeling parental love? Every comedian ever to every other comedian ever. Before Carl could respond, the bus pulled up, and the boys entered. Outside the window, Jimmy saw Cindy and her mom boarding their car. What a spoiled bitch, he thought. She gets to shower late and gets to ride to school. What a cunt! Jimmy couldn't stay angry, though. He saw past her bitchiness to the slowly developing tits he would gaze at when he was in her presence. He would play the academic rival, the ooh, girls have cooties role for a little longer. But one of those days, he would advance to the next level of manhood. He would show Cindy the true magnitude of his feelings for her. His dick pulsed in his shorts as he saw the Vortex car fall behind the bus. Why is nobody interrupting me?
I was kind of getting into it. Yeah, like I was actually.
All right. He closed his eyes and mentally pleasured himself until they reached the school. Okay.
I think this might be the worst story we've ever read.
Seriously.
This is close to the Home Improvement one in terms of being terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the end of that chapter. I think we can get through the second one if we're quick, or...
Yeah, I'll read the second chapter if you want.
Go ahead.
Actually, when he read it, it sounded more sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he reads it funny. No, Nick reads it funny. Atlas reads it like, and he grabbed his nutsack. Yeah, yeah, like you make it very sexual. Like that's why we were getting into it, kind of.
Yeah, we're like, where's this gonna go? Is Jimmy gonna?
I want to read some more Dick's material.
Is he gonna brain blast into this girl?
Oh my god.
Okay. Chapter 2: Old Lady Junk for Lunch. Okay. That's gonna be the name of my special if I ever get one.
What
was it again?
Old Lady Junk for Lunch.
What would you name your special? Your comedy special?
Jimmy's had you've had a special.
Couple, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The Make Comedy Great Again show.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
This is the highlight of his career, everybody.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think of constantly because you're like, kind of like the band name thing, but for comedians, and you're just like,
you got to really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
And
said I'm going to alienate half my fan base by naming it Make Comedy Great because they reference Trump and stuff.
Yeah. It's.
I just meant it as like.
I'd call mine Knowledge Drunkard, and I'd be holding like a book with a beer mug handle on it and the title, and be like,
that's strong.
Yeah, either that or in like a Da Vinci's workshop looking place, and then on the chalkboard behind me, they told me I was wrong, and then 2 + 2 = 5.
Oh.
That's all I got.
Okay, for real. I mean, I would probably name mine like All the Lovely People, because it would just be all me doing like a bunch of impressions and shit. I don't know.
That's good.
My first
All
one.
the Lovely People.
The Nick Kane Show.
No, I'm not pulling a Frank Caliendo or a Dana Carvey. I saw those two shows tanked as soon as it's like, no, I'm good, just with the special.
That's a great name though, like Nick Kane.
Yeah, it rolls off
you.
the tongue nicely.
Got Nick Kane.
Yeah.
Getting on the cane train.
Get on the page. my
Alex said getting on the cane train.
My Xbox Live username is Dick Payne, but yeah.
All right.
Jimmy Hardcock.
Yeah. Disclaimer: I don't own this show, or Jimmy Neutron, or Carl or Sheen, or Miss Fowler, or any of the characters from the show. As you can tell, I don't care about any of them, as you don't like. And if you somehow do like these characters, then sit back and enjoy the worst I can do to them. Smiley face. Oh yes, oh fuck yes, Jimmy moaned, sitting on a toilet in the boys' room. He jacked his dick until his mind was clear of dirty thoughts. Hopefully he could return to class and focus on math and science. All morning he glanced over at Cindy and a few of the other attractive young ladies, and occasionally Miss Fowler.
Wow.
God.
Oh my God.
His old bird-like teacher.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Jimmy, you got issues. He couldn't help it. Jimmy had to control the insane libido of his, or else nothing would get done. But the problem was solved for now. He dropped a deuce, flushed, and made his way back to class. The young man walked down the hall, talking to himself like a loser.
Have you guys ever like whacked off in the work or school bathroom
Oh,
before?
yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like my last workplace was the last time I did it, and it was the fucking it was the bathroom stalls with the huge gap between like the door and the stall, so people can just come in, and you're like, the second you hear the doorknob turn, you're like, all right, get hands off dick, pretend you're actually shitting, wait for them to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I managed to do it right in the middle of class.
Oh, it's been
Are
a
you
while
kidding?
for me.
No,
But-
I'm not kidding. I actually did it once in the middle of class, like in a, I don't remember when, but like it was
Okay.
there was a girl I liked in class, and
Okay. I know it sounds like I'm concerned, and it's because I am,
Yeah.
but into what?
into like boxers. Like
So you jizzed in your pants. You Lonely Island yourself.
yeah,
It dries
yes, I
off.
did.
It dries off pretty easily.
I
And,
guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm.
And I'm comfortable just sitting in it.
The shower, the sock, I don't know.
Yeah, you just let it go. You're, oh.
No, I'm like I was completely silent. I was just like no one would have known.
This is gonna be the episode that gets us canceled.
Like, I'm like, I'm saying too much.
Not just everything about this episode is
Wrong.
wrong. Yes,
Yeah, wrong.
continue.
Oh yeah, continue. But even though, then let's dive straight down. Now that all that's taken care of, I can skip ahead to my homework, finish that as well as tomorrow's, and start planning some science stuff to do while I get home, while I hide from mom and dad. In a moment of ecstatic queerness, he thrust his arms outward and accidentally whacked Nick in the groin. Nick was on his way to take a leak and was only out at the same time as Jimmy because he's eaten out almost every female in the school, and Miss Fowl lets him do whatever he wants. That was a wrong sentence.
Wait,
Jesus.
so because you've eaten every girl's pussy, that gives you the ability to do whatever you want?
I guess. Is that true, Jimmy? Like, if
I enjoy eating pussy. If that was a superpower I could get, I'd fucking line up around the block. Let's go.
As you get older, you
know?
like gets less and less. Like when I was young, I didn't like it at all. I got older, and if you didn't eat pussy, I'd be like, he's a kid.
Yeah.
And now, if somebody eats pussy, I'm like, he's a kid.
yeah, I just
Yeah.
I thought
When you
yeah.
get old, it's like pastrami and shit. It just doesn't. Have
Oh, I mean, like, to me, I know I'm terrible at the actual sex part, so I'm just kind of hedging my bets.
As,
know what I mean?
as you get older, you start losing. I don't know, me. Maybe, this guy looks like a stud over there, but like for me, like I'm getting worse and worse or something. I'm the only guy like I played sports my whole life, never pulled a hammy, but every time I fuck, I pull a hammy. I'm like this and shit,
It's like
it's an ugly sight.
I came at the wrong spot.
Gotta limber up before you.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm doing froggy or anything. I'm pretty basic with my moves, but
No, dude, like I have this I really
I
hope
was
that
agreeing with you.
Oh,
You
gotcha.
gotta limber up. I was like, yeah.
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 I was just
You
like,
gotta
yes,
limber up, like-
indeed, limber up. Yes, sir.
I feel so exposed in this podcast here.
Yeah, I
today.
know.
Yeah,
I
like
never thought that an episode of Bad Rating would get as emotionally or sexually naked.
I feel naked.
Yeah.
Pun all the way intended, as it would in this episode.
Yeah.
Keep going.
All right. Oh, dude, what the fuck? You gay or something, bro? Nick leered, clutching his junk. No, not at all, Nick. I was just thinking of you and your homo friends are all the same. There's some punishment waiting for you after class, fag. And with that, Nick stomped toward the bathroom. If Jimmy hadn't just been there, he probably would have pissed himself. Nick is known as the 9-pound hammer when they talk in the candy bar about male competition.
Wow.
About what?
about male competition. Jimmy had no idea what to expect from groping the mighty Nick. Thankfully, it wasn't even lunchtime yet, so we had time to think of an escape. Okay, I'm gonna say that this is like a dude that like is super masculine, but like he's hiding deep homosexual like fantasies.
Exactly.
And this is how he's projecting it through Jimmy Neutron.
And he's like, no one's gonna find my shitty fan fiction in this website that no one goes to anyway.
But you did put it up for the public to see, man.
And
So,
we found it.
we did.
It hasn't
Like-
happened yet. I'm still waiting for like the person whose fan fiction we read on air be like, "Hey, man, the fuck!" Like,
You just made him famous. What
Yeah.
are you talking about? What is it, Dick Logan?
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
Oh, Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Oh, like Nickelodeon. I
Yeah.
see. I didn't catch that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, why would you expect? I don't know. It's I don't know. Like, but see, that's like a thing though. Is that like there's some stories. I think there was one. There was a story we read one time where the story was so like I think it was the last one we did with
the home improvement one.
Yeah, the home improvement one where like this guy was like projecting like this horrible abuse that this character goes through, and like if you can imagine Tim Allen, just beating the crap out of these. Well, he didn't.
It wasn't even.
No, it wasn't even
Tim
about
Allen
Tim
wasn't even
yeah.
there. It was like he took his like horrible dark cracked mirror of regret child abuse stories and just put a home improvement skin on it, and you're like,
Yeah.
Home Improvement, like put a skin on it the way like Jeffrey Dahmer puts a skin.
Because
on
this
something.
guy's got issues.
Yeah,
This guy's got issues.
Yeah.
Like from Jimmy Neutron to like
Yeah.
your dick.
Well, yeah. Thankfully, it wasn't even lunchtime yet, so we had time to think of an escape. Oh, excuse me. When he returned to Miss Fowle's class, his best friends Carl and Sheen instantly started talking to him. Hey, Jimmy, can you help make this homework not make my brain hurt? Whimpered Carl. Jimmy, if I stick Ultra Lord's arm up my ass, do you think I'll get lead poisoning?
Do they even make action figures out of lead anymore?
Yeah, I think that was a thing back then. Well,
Oh right, lead figurines like for D&D and stuff.
Yeah, they
It's like the Patton Oswalt bit where he's like, if I have a kid, it's gonna fuck my life up, man. He's gonna like be. My dad was like a Marine. He's gonna be like, hey, Dad, I threw your Blade Runner gun on the roof. Faggot.
Oh, son.
Oh man,
Son.
son.
I forget what. Yeah.
Melt my lead figurines, make my life a living hell. Yeah. So.
They don't make figures like they used to. When I was young, we had G.I. Joes, those little ones. They're really cool. Like these
Yeah.
days, they suck.
I mean, I used to like I still have like a bunch of old Pokemon figures. They're like 2 inches big. It was like like a rubbery plastic. It was not
Like a hard rubber.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah. Like if you threw it at your friend's head, it would hurt. You know.
I used to have these WWF wrestlers.
Yeah.
And they're like rubber. And they're like.
Episode 5 WWE
Stretch
with
Armstrong?
Matt Duckett. Check it out.
There you go. Yeah, no, they didn't stretch. Though I know what you're talking about. They're like about 9 inches.
Yeah.
The
The 9-pound hammer.
And they're like,
Yeah.
right? My dad beat the shit out of me with Big John Studd. I will never forget that. And
Wow.
Yeah, so those were cool.
Huh.
Yeah.
If we end up reading a WWF fan fiction and it's yours,
I appreciate
I'm
that.
gonna be pissed. Like,
Okay, let's keep going. Guys, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to exercise my intellect, snapped the brainy queer. Yeah, see, dude, you're using queer a lot in this, so...
Very
Wait.
homophobic.
Very
yeah,
homophobic.
How
Yeah.
is he queer? He's shown no signs of queerness before. He was like beating off in the morning.
To a girl.
No,
to
he's
a
talking
girl.
to Sheen because he wants to shove Ultra Lord up his ass.
But why did he say brainy queer?
No, snap. Oh, sorry, the narrator. No, you're right. Yeah, the narrator said, "Snap the brainy queer."
Yeah. Whatever. Continue.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carl Sheen and Jimmy Oliver, squawked the decrepit teacher. All three of you will stay during the lunch. Shit! They all cursed in unison. The three
Wait,
losers.
hang on. 1, 2, 3.
Shit!
Yeah.
Shit, they all cursed in unison. The three losers had behaved all year long and never received attention before. Jimmy, who had missed breakfast thanks to the morning's insanity, decided he was in enough trouble. He opened up his sack lunch, took out a bit. I thought that was an innuendo for a minute. He opened up his sack lunch, took out a banana, unpeeled it, and shoved the whole phallic fruit into his mouth. Again, really? Okay.
Yeah.
While the immature children laughed, Miss Fowl continued to make weird bird noises. Nice. Oh, that was actually the next line. Roar, Jimmy, you will not receive an extra detention after school, she shrieked. Jimmy sighed in defeat. At least maybe this will defer the abuse Nick and his parents have planned for him. Unable to focus on beloved math, Jimmy daydreamed of a happier life until the bell rang and the kids left to eat. All except him and his little friends. Miss Fowl, I need to go to lunch because I have diabetes, and if I don't, I may pass out. Oh, no, that's Carl. Mrs. Fowl, I need to go to lunch because I have diabetes, and if I don't, I may pass out, whined Carl. Oh, shut up, Carl! You'll pass out anyway! Roar! Good point, he muttered. Oh, he went back to normal voice. Nice. Oh, man.
You can do
This is like a bad porno.
Yeah.
It really is.
You can do
Yeah.
every voice in the world, but you can't do a bird squawking.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough to go back and forth between
Fair
voices.
enough. That is very hard to do. Yes.
Besides, you all still have plenty to eat, Miss Fowl shrieked as she slumped onto her desk. Without another word, she hiked up her dress and started to remove the pantyhose that kept her ancient skin from seeing the light of day. Hold on a second.
God,
Hold
this
on a
is
minute.
hard.
Hold on a minute. This turned into a gilf porn just now. The three boys struggled to look away, but perverse curiosity led their eyes back on the undressing octogenarian. Oh, jeez.
That's like an 80-something. I thought she was like in her 60s.
Oh, this is getting pretty good right now, though. Keep
This
going.
is
Yeah,
getting good.
yeah,
It's
it's
getting
getting good. Yeah, it's actually turning me on.
Her legs looked almost like pale churros, full of deep lines and wrinkles and covered in a crusty exterior.
Oh God.
But the worst horror of all came as she removed her underwear. This is beautiful imagery.
I don't know what's worse, the story itself or Jimmy's reaction to the story.
Oh, God.
Both of them are equally disgusting.
It's pretty.
Oh my God. But the worst horror of all came as she removed her underwear, revealing a dirty, cracked, crumpling pussy surrounded by wrinkly labia and a forest of graying pubic hair. Oh man. Dig in, boys. Who's first?
You leave my wife out of this, mister.
I think I might vomit.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah.
No, but what would you do? Seriously, you're in class,
Well,
it's your teacher.
It's detention. Like, okay, if this happened in the Breakfast Club, that's like rapey as fuck. This is just funny, almost.
But what would you do? What would you do? She's old.
Oh,
she's,
man.
she's pulling her. Would you
I
go for a
would-
run?
I mean,
she's
that's
a-
a good question.
If she's an octogenarian, I feel like you could just take a walk.
Like fuck it, she's ugly.
Yeah.
She's horrible looking, but she's that kind of like get you a little.
Yeah, there has to be an exchange
So,
of goods and services for that one.
If they took Dustin Hoffman and who played Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate?
I know exactly.
Okay.
I don't know the
If
name.
you took those two actors and filmed that scene today in 2020, you get this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I would think like I would be just stunned that it would be happening, but like I would try to think of I don't know. Man, that's a good question. Like if there was no question, I'm in detention, right? Like this
Yes.
is the situation. Oh, we have the answer.
Anne Bancroft is the actress who played Mrs. Robinson. Thank you, producer Alex, for that.
Very good.
So if Anne Bancroft and Dustin Hoffman refilmed that scene today, you get this.
I would just probably try to jump out the window. I don't know.
He's a great like that's a good ally back there.
Oh yeah,
I
no,
mean, you're a great ally.
Shout out to the entirety of the
Serious.
third wheel crew for keeping us clothed and fed, and
I mean, seriously, he's in it. Like
So
you know
to
when
speak,
it's
anyway.
like if you're sweating on stage and somebody throws you the rag. I mean, like that was sort of like
Yeah.
We just moved studios, so they didn't add the producer mic yet. But eventually, I'll have one, so I could just tell you the answer.
Oh my God, it's the voice of God.
but yeah, if you're a loyal YouTube watcher of Bad Reading, and we look like we're in a different place, it's because we are. It's down the hall. The room is like twice the size. All that good stuff.
It's a great room.
yeah.
I'm really impressed, guys. I mean, you guys. This is
Thank
great.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sheen, being the asshole he was, shoved Carl in towards the teacher's gaping orifice. We go from 0 to 100
Real quick.
Secretly, Miss Fowl had been one of Carl's deepest loves. Aside from Jimmy's mom, llamas, and Nick. He had received a brutal ass beating from Nick and had been entranced ever since. Carl leaned down
Entranced?
entranced, excuse me. Carl leaned entranced.
Oh.
He went in, he fucked. Yeah. He
I
stuck his fist.
I
Yeah.
thought you meant like entranced. Like
No,
he's been-
entranced. Like
Okay.
literal entrance.
Good to know. All right.
Is that how you pronounce entranced? Entranced, or is that
No,
just
no, entranced is
No,
to be
it-
like captivated with something. But
Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Carl leaned down and put his mouth up to the public mound, to the pubic mound. Excuse me.
Oh,
I can't
God.
read. It tickled his nose, and with his sensitive allergies, he sneezed all over the woman's genitalia, spraying snot and saliva all over the twisty hairs.
Achoo!
Stop lollygagging, Carl!
Oh,
Oh my God! See, I can tell that this guy has this. I know this is a dude who wrote this. Like he's so
you
about.
think?
He's so. I just came to me.
I like puns. I like that he used the phrase pubic mound because he just looked up like a textbook like diagram of women's genitalia, and he's like pubic mound. That's a good one.
I'll use that one.
Pubic bone, whatever. Bone.
Oh God, no, this is getting gross.
At getting gross.
Brother, we passed gross last chapter.
Nah, man, for me, this is okay. Carl opened his mouth and started tonguing the disgusting pussy. It made sticky noises as Carl's mouth pried it apart. Having been unused for decades, wisps of stale air. Oh God.
Did you read this before? Like, honestly.
I didn't read chapter 2. I read chapter 1. I didn't know it was gonna get this bad.
If we're going down, we're taking you all with us.
Yes. He swallowed with glee and started licking the dry skin. Miss Fowl moaned as her long foreskin parts were oiled up by Carl's disease. I have to stop. Jesus Christ, Nickelodeon.
Okay, this might be a new milestone for bad reading. It's so bad we can't take it anymore.
I'll keep reading.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Yeah. It's just like,
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
I'm
fine.
not.
I'm fine.
I mean, this whole episode, I'm like,
Atlas, it's your turn.
Oh God! All right.
yeah.
Yeah, just the top.
He saw the next line. He's like, you read this. Come on.
I had to tap out.
Oh, okay, Carl. You're enjoying it too much. Next. I guess I'll get it over with. I'll just pretend it's Ultra Lord.
That's a good.
Sheen mumbled.
That's a good Sheen.
It's just
That's a great voice.
It's Cartman without the fat.
Yeah.
So just be like, street guys, my authority. I pretend it's Ultra. See, it's very close to
Very
it.
nice.
Yeah. Okay. But Sheen, Ultra Lord doesn't have a vagina, especially not one as blessed as hers, interjected Carl. Sheen didn't reply as he closed his eyes and bent between his teacher's legs. His tongue barely touched the rotting flesh before he became nauseous. Doing what Miss Fowl
nauseous.
Yeah, exactly. Doing what Miss Fowl had expected Carl to do, he vomited all over her pelvic region. Exactly.
Does this series end with the aristocrats? That's what I want to know.
I just want to know how many chapters are left in this book. Like,
there are, I think
there's
13.
There's 7 fucking teen chapters.
are you fucking kidding? It's 17.
No.
So this is 17 chapters of this guy.
There are 17 chapters.
Wow.
This is like a shitlord, like then who wrote all of this.
Oh my
You
God.
get it on Kindle.
I think, yeah, I'd love to be the audio reader for this. Like, yeah, just,
Oh my God.
I'd love it if he paid me to do it. I don't know.
Okay.
You do
You're
great
right.
at that too, because you got the voices.
No.
Let's see. Covering her in half-digested sugary cereal from earlier that morning. Miss Fowl just moaned as the awful OFFAL
Oof.
showered her underused
Even worse
genitalia.
than the imagery, the grammar, man. Come on.
I don't
proofread
know
your
if
work.
that's. I think awful might be a word that I just don't know what it means.
Wait, where is it?
AWF.
OFFAL.
OFFAL.
Because it says Miss
Fowl.
Fowl. Just
Oh, foul.
Oh, foul.
foul. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like a foul. It's like
Oh,
another. It's
like
like a French.
grossness.
Yeah.
Oh, foul. Oh, neat. I learned something. Keep going, Sheen. I bet that makes a great lubricant. Miss Fowl cried in ecstasy.
Oh God.
Sheen returned to delivering the disgusting oral sex, doing his best to avoid the most putrid parts. His own vomit tasted good in comparison.
Oh my God.
And that, combined with his Ultralord fantasies, allowed him to make it just through the teacher's punishment.
I'm getting flashbacks of 2 Girls, 1 Cup from this. Like this is some like the.
Did
the
you catch
sequel.
that?
Yes, we did. It's fine.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Vaping on.
I would love to
camera.
have a distraction from this.
Okay, Sheen, now give Jimmy a turn. Lunch only lasts half an hour. Sheen fainted from sheer joy, his face caked in vomit and graying pubes.
Imagine you had one of those kids, one of those. They really enjoyed it though. They're all move out of the fucking way. Blah, 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 blah. Like, he like really like was.
Oh my God.
Oh God, that's so hot. I mean, disgusting.
Jimmy gulped as he stepped towards the teacher. This would be his first experience with oral sex, and had hoped this moment would have eventually been with Cindy, or at least someone younger than the age of 50. But alas, it was only fair, and Nick and his parents could probably inflict much worse. At least he could try and create a happy place for later. Jimmy at first kissed the decaying skin before opening his mouth and tasting the vomit and snot-covered wrinkles firsthand. Despite the added condiments,
Condiments?
despite the added condiments like ketchup, mustard, mayo from his friends and the aging quality of the pussy, he found himself slightly enjoying the sensation of eating out a vagina. He opened his eyes to catch his tongue pushing a cobweb on the vaginal walls aside. Really?
My God.
Wow.
As he continued pleasuring the old lady. The disturbance made his teacher gasp, and a small moth fluttered out and into his
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay,
that's funny.
So this
Hello,
kid's...
darkness, my old friend.
Exactly. So this kid is probably gay, but he also doesn't know how vaginas work. He's like, the pussy has cobwebs on it. He's like, wait, really?
Does
I guess I should put it in there. I don't know.
Did you hear about on a serious note, did you hear about the new vagina-smelling incense?
Goop?
that
yeah, the goop.
Gwyneth
Is that
Pal-
real?
Yes.
It's from Gwyneth Paltrow, who is like actively fucking up vaccines because she's a bitch. What?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
I know a lot about the goop candle, but I don't want to interrupt.
No, Yoko. Please.
Goop
Anything.
candle here.
Yes.
I looked in it. Sorry, I had to co-opt it. But actually, okay, so I did a whole thing on a podcast I was doing about this Goop candle. Her website, Goop, sells like wellness stuff. Like there's like rocks you put in your vagina and all this kind of shit. So there's scented candles, and one of the candles is literally called "This Smells Like My Vagina,"
Oh, it's not. It's like.
and it's $75.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I gotta say, you got a great fucking voice for this radio
Yeah.
thing. Right?
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
does.
hello. Yes. It's basic. It's like really.
we get
yeah.
it. He's better than us.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hey.
I
you
didn't say any of that.
know. No, but like seriously, like I used to like throw girls in jacuzzis before I went down on them just because to avoid that smell. And people are buying these fucking incense.
Oh, I have.
Oh, they're not buying them.
I have a terrible sense of smell, so I've earned my Red Wings, all that good stuff. It's
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
You gotta boil it, you know.
boil it.
You gotta boil it. Yeah, you gotta like.
You gotta slow cook it, my
Okay,
friend.
see now I'm imagining Gordon Ramsay. He's like, this tastes like shit. And
It's overcooked.
get in the hot tub.
Now you serve this to me undercooked. Shut it down.
That guy needs to bust a nut once a day just to calm himself down, right? He's so high strung and nervous all the time.
Well, maybe Nickelodeon
Well,
knows.
he's really nice to kids because he's been on like cooking shows where kids are doing it, and he's really nice and encouraging with them. And I think it's because he only gets worked up with people who should know better.
Yeah.
Like on Kitchen Nightmares, where it's these people who won't take any criticism or advice, but also keep asking for it. And it's like, you've probably been on the other end of that, where it's so frustrating where someone's like, hey, can you give me notes on this? You're like, well, X, Y, and Z. And they're like, fuck
and they still
you.
fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm too nervous. That's why I never taught. I'd be like, you fucking dummy.
Yeah, or like,
I can't teach.
yeah, like, or if it's like I remember one episode I saw of Kitchen Nightmares, like this girl almost served like raw, I think it was fish or squid. I forget which one. It was like a really complicated dish like that. He's like, you could fucking kill someone, and he's like, yeah, like all
Was
this
this
anger
the
was
story you were
justified.
reading, or is this?
No.
Oh, I thought squid. I wasn't sure.
It's a meme. There's like a thing where he's like, this squid is so raw, I could still hear it telling SpongeBob to fuck off.
Nice.
Oh my god. All right. We're almost near the end of chapter 2 here. So, small moth fluttered onto his eye. Jimmy bounced backward and stumbled over Sheen's passed out body. He fell to the floor, his ass landing on Sheen's puke-covered face. He looked up to see Miss Fowl redressing herself. Very good, boys, Miss Fowl whimpered. Hopefully you'll behave yourselves now. But if not, there's more where that came from, she squealed, flipping her dress up. Jimmy looked back to see Carl in his desk, having been masturbating during this and Sheen's turn.
It just keeps going.
Just keeps going.
Like this kid busts more nuts than fucking Ron Jeremy and shit.
Well, it's Carl doing it, not Jimmy this time.
Oh, not Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
No,
see this kid walking around. He's like, you know,
yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's
Imagine a bowling ball.
Carl.
as a
Carl
person.
enjoyed it. Sheen passed out, I guess, and Jimmy is disgusted or reluctant. I don't know.
I think we forget.
Okay.
You'd think if he had all these creational skills, he'd think of something cooler to make than like a telescope,
like
like
uh,
X-ray.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a better way.
That's a great point. Where are the inventions? Like
That's
where are
true.
where are the inventions for the show?
this is just Jimmy Neutron
Eating pussy.
teenager. Like, all
Is
right.
that the equivalent of the light?
Pretty
that's
much,
that's my one criticism. Yeah, that's the 5-minute light.
Yeah.
We got the
Got it. Okay,
right.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Let's tie this up in the horrible, horrible, horrible bow that it is.
Hold on. Sorry,
Yeah.
Atlas, before you do that,
What?
like, I wonder if God does the same thing where, like, if you're about to die, it gives you the 5-minute light. Like, it's like, oh, shit, I got to finish this up. Okay.
I wish.
So that's what your life flashing before your eyes is.
Yeah, literally. He's like, you got 5 minutes.
See, I thought it was like, you ever, like, when you're getting sick, that sneeze? There's that one sneeze you have where that's your body telling you have 3 hours to get your affairs in order.
Yeah.
And then you're in bed.
Take your defense, whatever that.
No, just that one, achoo, and like there's that tracer to it. You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I have to get home right now. Yeah. Like, all right. Jimmy noticed that his cock was fully erect. Whether it had been from the oral sex, Sheen's face being against his ass, or the sight of his friend's Carl's wiener. No.
The aristocrats.
No, his Carl, isn't Carl's last name Wiener? Or something like that?
I forget.
Fucking let us know, I guess. Being whacked was unknown to the boy genius. His head was spinning. Don't forget, Jimmy, you have more detention after class. Miss Fowl wailed. Jimmy sighed. He just knew later in the day. To imagine Cindy, and he licked the ancient organ again. And with that, the bell rang. Jimmy got back inside his desk as his classmates returned, unaware of the horrors that occurred moments before. With Sheen still on the floor, the desk covered in puke, as well as Miss Fowl's lap, and Jimmy and Carl ready to learn, the day resumed its slow process. To be continued. There are 15 more chapters.
Yeah, that's.
of this
I
horrible.
think I've had enough chapters of this.
I have had enough of this abomination.
Yeah, but
Atlas hates
thank
me
you,
right now.
Nickelodeon.
I absolutely wants to kill
I
me.
hate you so much right now. Because also, how did the kid... Okay, you come back in from lunch. There's a kid passed out on the floor, covered in puke. Your teacher is also covered in puke in the groin region. I feel like you can figure some of that shit out.
right?
Yeah.
Here. Take your stupid phone back.
Good stuff.
Oh, man.
Oh, my
I mean,
God.
it was great being on the Bad Reading podcast. I might get
Yes.
replaced.
Definitely. No, that was pretty bad reading. I mean, I knew it was bad reading, but I didn't realize it was
That's
bad
egregious reading.
That's egregious reading.
Yeah.
Jimmy, thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate you guys,
On the
man.
show.
And yeah, definitely, check
Yeah.
me out on Instagram.
I was going to say, where can people find you?
You can go to Jimmy Nebula Productions on Instagram, or you can go to jimmynebulaproductions.com and go visit me at the Ice House February 22nd, as I'm featured with Dat Fan.
This episode will be coming out after that. So I hope it was awesome.
Awesome.
Probably-
There you
Yeah,
go. I
yeah.
did great, by
Yeah,
the way,
he was-
guys.
he-
I
he
didn't
crushed
bomb.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick,
Yeah.
where can people find you?
You can find me at Millennial Comic. That's where I'm most active on Instagram.
You can find me at Atlas Novak on Twitter, Instagram. You can also find this show at Bad Reading Pod, also on Twitter, Instagram. And you can also find this show on YouTube or anywhere podcasts are found. Do us a favor and give us a rating. Tell your friends. Helps the show get found and helps us eat and be famous and stuff.
Just find me.
Yeah, and just try and forget everything you just heard.
Serious.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.